If you guys want to let me nerd out, that'd be appreciated. I want to show a visualization of kick and bass relationship when it comes to their frequency spectrum. Now, this is 100% not the Bible. Each mix is going to be different based on sound selection and genre, but this is just how I tend to view it most of the time. So here's our kick. Most times I'm doing a little bit of a low cutoff from 35 to upwards to 45 hertz because I want to save that low end for our bass. Sometimes I'll even go a step further and I'll do a little bit of a cut of some extra low end, but what I'll always do is boost a little bit of the low end thump of the kick in the tune of 75 to 90 to 95 hertz. Again, these are ranges. These are not exact values that you should follow blindly. I'll often find myself scooping out a little bit of that boxiness from the low mids to the, entry level mids, and either between EQ, saturation, or sometimes additional samples, I'll make sure to bring out that high end part of the kick. Doesn't matter, use your ears. It could be from 2.5 to 3K up to 5, 6, 8, 10K. It doesn't matter. Okay, now onto bass. In terms of volume, I always have bass a little lower than my kick. I also cut lows from the bass, but lower lows than my kick, so I'm cutting below 30 because we don't really hear that anyway. So see this little region of the bass? Just because I cut that region from the kick does not mean I necessarily am going to boost this in the bass. It's already there. It just is a matter of whether I think it has a good relationship with the kick as is. Remember, the bass is lower in volume than the kick, but it still retains more of that lower information. What I will do, though, is where I boosted in the kick, that low-end thump, I will cut in the bass. Now, there's a bunch of ways you can do that with the simple EQ. You could sidechain compress it, or you could even dynamic EQ it. So whenever the kick hits, it ducks down the bass in that frequency, creating that space. And in the middle of that low-end thump and the high-end click from the kick, I want the bass to really shine in the mid-range. And this is what's going to make it cut through those small speakers. I really like doing harmonic distortion for this, but even some EQ tends to work as well sometimes if the bass already has that content in it. And then, of course, you could always brighten up your bass, but this is what I find to be the most crucial parts of the frequency spectrum between the kick and the bass. But I can't stress this enough. This is completely dependent on the genre, the sample selection, and most importantly, your own personal taste when it comes to this stuff. This is just the breakdown and the ideology that makes the most sense for my brain in most cases of work that I do and in most pieces of music that I listen to.